Uh, what up, guys? Again, this is part 2. Again, shout out to Learn by Leo. So let's just get right into it.
Buffed up his video, added something to it rather than stretched out what was already there. Before we talk about just forgetting all of this and letting AI write everything, we need to talk about the most important part of the script, the intro. If you do not take those first few seconds to meet the expectations people had going in, they will stop watching. So take a good look at your title and thumbnail. What made someone click that? What information, what pacing, and what mood are they expecting? Your entire video, but especially the intro, needs to align with those 3 principles. As for specifically what you say, there is no single answer. You just confirm to them that your video will be what they expected and then immediately start delivering. But please, I am begging you, do not ask for likes, for subscribers, or for money. That is not what they came here for. Now about AI, it is a great tool to help with your script writing. I use it to find better vocabulary, to shorten sentences, and to improve my flow, but I would never use it to write a script. That's because AI is just stupid. It's trained using books and websites and therefore writes kind of the same way, but YouTube videos aren't written the same as books. Alright, sure, using AI is lazy and it messes up the video, but what I'm about to say is even worse. And guess what? You probably do it too. I sure did. Back on my Terraria channel, I would draw out the second half of my script and just kind of half-ass it. While it's true that people are more likely to keep watching the second half if they made it through the first half, they're only more likely to keep watching. But I counted on people staying once they got around to that halfway mark. The writing, editing, and everything else would get way worse. Then I put in an outro that gave credits and stuff like that. It took me a while to learn that there is no such thing as an outro on YouTube. Talk about why I hadn't blown up yet. It's because I was thinking of my channel one video at a time, and therefore viewers looked at my channel the same way, one video at a time. But what if they looked at my channel 5 videos at a time? 10 videos at a time. You know, there is no better way to tell YouTube to blow up your channel than to have people binge your videos. So plan for that. Don't let viewers get bored of you. Keep the second half just as good, and then they're far more likely to watch another of your videos next. Okay, with all of that being said, the most important thing for you to do is to avoid not writing anything because you're just trying to get it all perfect. Writing's a process. It's never going to be perfect the first time. Chapter 6, Recording. So about recording, I actually recorded my first 2 videos on my iPhone and a blue snowball, and the videos actually did really good. What's actually important is to just get as many clips as possible. You can't have one continuous shot of you talking. You need a variety of things for the viewer to look at. For my Terraria channel, I would spend, on average, 10 hours recording footage just so I could switch the clips every 5 seconds. And yes, it is worth it. The impact on your attention is massive. Chapter 7, Editing. The core of editing is pacing. You see, the style can be whatever you want, but pacing always has to be as fast as possible. To really give you a sense of what it should be, let's look at the bare minimum, a 90-minute nature documentary. This is a very slow-paced genre, yet at a random point in the film, the video cut to 3 different clips in 15 seconds, an average of 5 seconds per clip. While the style was extremely minimalist, just some background footage, music, and a voiceover, the editing maintained a brisk pace. So if this is just about the slowest editing you can possibly get away with, what does that have to say about your videos, which linger on the same clips for 10-20 seconds? And that's not even to mention the pauses that you make while you're speaking. No one wants to see you staring around trying to figure out what you have to say next. Or any part of your video that's just a couple seconds long where nothing's happening, cut that out too. Besides that, the style of editing should match up with the genre of your video and the audience you have. The wrong editing style can really ruin your video. So figure out how the best creators in your niche edit and then learn how to make something similar. Okay, here's the most underrated editing tip ever. Create a variety of how much energy your video gives off. The stark contrast of a hyper-edited section abruptly turning into a mellow A-roll segment forces the viewer to jump back into focus. These changes in pacing keeps the viewer from zoning out. Wait, do you hear that? That kind of like rumbling sound? That's called a riser. Oh, that was a hit. These are just two examples of sounds that make the video way more immersive. Just as important are transition sounds, ambient sounds, and some Foley sound. Sound design creates a really nice audio experience, which will help keep the viewers watching for a little longer, so I definitely recommend it. I used to use freesound.org, but now I use Envato Elements. And sound effects aren't the only way you can spice up the audio. Rather than throwing in a couple background songs that kind of work, create a more immersive experience by choosing a larger variety of music. A lot of the pacing and mood of a video comes from the music, so find songs that work really well for what you're aiming for. So yeah, that is the basic process, but for someone like you, I think you want something better, so click here for the more detailed version.
That is part 2 of how to get so good at YouTube you can't stop growing viral. If you saw how to make a thumbnail, yeah, I don't know how to make a thumbnail. I just learned from a video. So, yeah. This is part 2.
Of all
Let's anyways, bye. I'm gonna go post this, and yeah.